Good evening and welcome to the official co-stream of the back-to-back NBA 2K League champions, Wizards District Gaming. Tonight, the 3v3 champions, Wizards D.G, take on Handlez in the second round of knockout play of the Coinbase 3v3 Switch Open. Alongside Chris, my name is John, and welcome to tonight's best-of-7 matchup against the semi-pro team Handlez. Last Wednesday, led by a fantastic defensive performance from the big dog Dayfry, Wizards D.G fought back against Duke's Gaming after dropping Game 1 to take the series 3-1 to continue their title defense of the 3v3 circuit. And tonight, they'll be going up against that team Handlez. And Chris, this is kind of one of those weird moments here because obviously it's a semi-pro team. They might be known in the community, but for those who follow just exclusively the 2K League, this is going to be another chance for new fans of the 2K League and the 2K community to really see what these players have to offer going up against the pros.
Absolutely. We talked a lot about it last time. It's huge to bring the community, from 3v3 and stage into these big moments and, talk about a best of 7 on stage. Best of 5 is one thing, but best of 7, you're really going to be able to see their talent and personalities shine through and giving them, a huge boost of confidence and experience on that stage. You never know where it could lead them cutting into season 6 in that draft. You perform well in a best of 7 on stage. There's really nothing else left for you to prove. So it's going to be a huge motivating factor for that roster tonight. And, we're going to have to bring the energy and bring the intensity in order to match it on stage.
Absolutely. I'm getting sidetracked over here. The 2K League stream is having players try to spell Indianapolis, and that's just mean.
Yeah, don't ask me.
Yeah, no. I lived like 45 minutes away from Indianapolis, and I still couldn't spell it. So that's just cruel and unusual punishment. But for everyone joining us here for the first time, if you're new to the 3v3 scene in the 2K League, which it's brand new this year, so I guess we're all new to it. Just going over the rules here real quick. We're going to get this updated live on screen as we do this because it's actually a best of 7 now. So boom, just like that 5 becomes a 7. Subs can come in between games. There's 6 fouls before a player fouls out. You hit that 6th foul, you are replaced by an AI player, and that is something you definitely do not want to happen. And it's first to 21 by 2 points. Good old street ball rules. So again, first to 21 by 2 points in the best of 7. It's a quick-paced, arcade-style 2K game, not like that 5v5 simulation we've said before, but it's a lot of fun. We'll talk a little bit as those archetypes are shown here once the game does get underway. Speaking of the game getting underway, we'll take a look at our starting lineup. These are the projected starting lineups for both Wizards D.G and Handlez. For Wizards D.G, we are projecting the same starting 3 that we saw last series against Duke Gaming, which is going to be Dayfry, Nudini, and B-Rich. I wouldn't surprise me to see just Awkward come back in there, but stick with what worked. And again, if Dayfry has another outstanding defense performance like we saw against Duke's Gaming, I think Handlez is in trouble.
Absolutely. Dayfry was absolutely incredible. You heard me gush about it on the last broadcast. Just seeing that type of defense come in from a build that has no defense in it, it's just truly remarkable. And it's just, a lot of hours put in by Dayfry labbing and testing things out. It's not luck at all. It's pure skill. He's knowing when to time them when the ball gets out in front of the guard. He's timing those reaches perfectly. Sometimes he'll get called for the reach, but all in all, it's a great gamble and it pays off in a big way. There's games where he's had 5, 4, 6 steals. Like it's truly, truly incredible. And with the lineup that we run with no lock on the floor, those steals and extra possessions that we're taking away from the other team and giving to ourselves, they're absolutely huge. So it gives us the ability to have, the maximum output of offense without really losing too much on defense just because of Dayfry's IQ and stick skill and everything he brings to the table on both ends of the court.
Absolutely. We'll take a look at the starting lineup for Handlez as well. Not elite shooter. K's the lock, or maybe it's Kaz the lock. Well, we'll figure that one out. And then ex-Miami 2K. We're just going to call him Miami. Simple, short, and sweet to the point. The starting lineup for Handlez. And this is a Handlez team, like we mentioned, knocked off Knicks Gaming. This is a team that has taken down several 2K League teams. So they're definitely a team that we have to watch out for. By chance, are you familiar with any of these players from Handlez?
Yeah, for sure. So, I've watched them play, a few times in this 3v3 and, knocking off Knicks Gaming was a huge, huge accomplishment. The Knicks, in my opinion, are one of the best 3v3 teams with Malik and Stick. Their offense and defensive combination is pretty huge. So Not elite shooter. He's a solid guard. He's more of like a combo guard. I don't think he's one dimensional. He can ISO. He can also run pick and roll. But what I think really makes this team great is their two other supporting cast players. Kay's the lock. He's one of the top lock prospects heading into season 6. He's always competing on the top pro am teams in the offseason circuit. He's definitely ready for his number to be called. He's kind of in the same realm of crazy where like he can play multiple positions. He has high IQ and just brings the energy. And then Miami is someone that I wasn't really familiar with until he started playing in this 3v3 format, but he's actually one of the highest rated shooters in like 2K history. He's knocking down nearly, like I think they said on the broadcast the other night, he's knocking down almost 70% of his 3-point opportunities, and he's scoring like 1.9 points per touch, which means he's basically getting a 2 every time he touches the ball, which is absolutely insane for a big man. So we have our work cut out trying to guard not just the point guard, but all 3 players on this team.
Absolutely. So I'm not going to go into projections. I do believe in the caster curse, so I'm not going to go for series predictions or anything. But it's definitely going to be a nice test to see if Wizards D.G is going to be able to continue their title defense. Again, the first ever 3v3 champions coming from the last 3v3 tournament several weeks ago, about last month, roughly that time frame, going up against a really tough pro-am team or a semi-pro team that's looking to make noise. They're looking to make a name for themselves, like you said. So we are, looks like, so it's supposed to be a 9:30 tip. It's now 9:40 Eastern time. In typical 2K League fashion, they are running behind. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw it to a quick break. And when we come back, hopefully we'll have game 1 here ready for you to go. Don't go anywhere. You are watching the official co-stream of the 2-time NBA 2K League champions, Wizards District Gaming.
And this team is coached by Patrick Crossan.
The champs. We got a finals rematch in the first round, and they got it done. They got it done in a, I won't say dominant fashion, but almost 3-1. So this team is just, they've proven it. It's not much to say about them, but just watch them play. Watch the unorthodox team get it done.
Trying to play spoiler again for our community team, a revenge game for the team that's coming up next. The only community team here in person, Handlez. At guard from Ottawa, Canada, not elite shooter. At small forward from Toms River, New Jersey, Kaze the Lock. At power forward from Naples, Florida, Miami. And this team is coached by the Joe Vegas.
The team that was one win away from going home in the first round again. And they fought. They dug in, started playing Handlez basketball, pushed it to a game 5, and got it done in a more so dominant fashion in that game. This rematch, man, they can't catch a break. Wizards back-to-back, not even in the finals, semis, none of that. So they're hungry. They're ready to actually try to beat them this time. So,
hey, I'm amped up. I'm excited. This is a rematch we have been waiting for. Back up to you, Autumn.
my dudes for that just nameless. Became this, they shameless. Cover up they lameness. Really got no brain and you all to blame. They all the same. It's but you cannot tame this. I'll be on my lane. This I'ma leave my mark. I'ma leave my heart. Said I gotta be famous.
All right, we're back for game one of this best of 7 series between the defending 3v3 champs, Wizards District Gaming, and Handlez, just in case everyone needs a reminder from last go around. In the, I believe it was the Slam. Yes, the 3v3 Slam Open. These two teams met up in the first round, best of 5. It went the distance, all 5 games being played. It was a 3-2 victory for Wizards D.G. And we're kind of on that same path right now. It's a quick start to the game, 4-2 in favor of Handlez. It was very much back and forth like this back in the Open as well between these two teams. High scoring, no blowouts in any of those games.
I would love to see, I think Coach Pat's goals for tonight, outside of just winning the series, is getting off to better starts. So, we don't want to have to rely on Dayfry getting steal after steal just, to come back from a 3, 4, 6-point deficit. So hopefully we can place in front some of these games tonight and not have to put so much pressure on our defense to get us back in the game.
Elite finds Miami in the center, takes a 2-point lead for Handlez. And also the
so
other
far it looks like, yep, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. You'll go for it.
I was going to say, it looks like Handlez is pretty content taking 2s, the short buckets to start with, and they're not really risking the 3-point shot, which might be smart for them to just get their feet wet on stage in this best of 7 series.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I was going to point out was that the big difference here is the fact that Just Awkward is not in that starting lineup. It's going to be B-Rich going up there. So it is a different look. We talked about that a little bit last stream as well. But we'll see if that is enough to kind of throw Handlez off. And they are a very tough team. But yeah, we'll see. Obviously, a faster start is much needed. That's a 3-point shot for Dayfry. That's exactly what you want to see. If they're going to settle for 2s, you have to take a look at those 3s when they give it to you, and that's a 1-point lead for Wizards D.G.
I don't know. It was a complete miscommunication by Handlez. Dayfry was able to walk like 5 steps backwards without anyone even in the picture.
Dayfry turns the ball over center court. Now it's Elite for Handlez. Pulls the 3 up off balance, but gets it to go. 2-point lead for Handlez.
That's the thing with all these guards, whether it's the league or these amateur teams, they're all so comfortable shooting fades, which is probably the hardest shot in 2K to green. So the skill level on display is immaculate right now.
And if I'm not mistaken, this is still the pro build even for 3v3, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it uses the same archetypes as 5v5. There might be a few more that you're able to choose from, but yep, it's still the same gameplay setting, same meta and all that stuff.
Elite finds Kaze in the corner. 12-9 Handlez.
And last series, the 12-point mark for the other team is when we started to make our run. So maybe we just like to give up that 12-point spot, and then we like to turn on the intensity and bring it right back and run away with the lead.
Oh, there's Dayfry guarding that inbound, called for the reach, and he's looking for that steal once again.
And you have to think that Handlez watched that entire series over and over, and a lead shooter has to be on the front of his mind to not allow that to happen and be a lot more tight with his handles.
B-Rich finding Dayfry, moving the ball around, guarded by Kaze, looking for space. Has it, but kicks it back out to B-Rich. Long pass back to Dayfry. Ball into the corner, gets Miami to jump and dribbles the ball out of bounds.
That's just a situation right there where he's holding turbo and he really can't go anywhere else. It won't let him change direction quick enough. So the only way he can go is out of bounds. It's unfortunate.
Off balance 3, no good. Offensive board, the putback for Miami. It's a 5-point lead for Handlez. Down low, Nudini all alone. The 2-handed jam cuts the lead to 3. Wizards D.G looking for a turnover here on this possession to try to get themselves back into the game. It's a 1-possession game.
And again, Nudini's on the build that doesn't have rebounding, I believe. So it's going to be tough for us to grab those boards. It's going to be a team effort.
Handlez up to 19. They're 1 basket away. So Nudini for the easy 2. Big defense here for Wizards D.G. A 2-point shot will seal game 1 for Handlez. The defense coming out, the double team on the inbounds, finds Kaze the lock down low. Miami being patient, takes it back out the corner, turns the ball over. It's B-Rich. Now Dayfry looking to take it back down the court all alone. Cuts the lead down to 2. They need another one just like that to try to tie this game up or possibly take the lead.
that last defensive possession could be put on the clinic tape for how you guard when someone gets out of position, like Nudini did. That was perfect execution from all three players.
Elite for three for the win. Elite hits it, makes it 22-17, the game one win in favor of Handlez to take the 1-0 series lead in this best of 7. And hopefully they're real nice here to put the stats up. They won't do it. Gotta love it. So we'll kick it back over. Looking for those final stats there, but a clutch shot at the end for Elite seals the deal for Handlez. They take game one. Kind of the opposite of what we saw last 3v3 tournament in the Open Slam. Wizards D.G ended up taking that game 21-17. This one was 22-17 in favor of Handlez. So again, scoring-wise, very much what we saw from the last time we saw Handlez in tournament play back in round 1 of the last 3v3 tournament. They're here to play, and I think Wizards D.G have a lot to live up to here, or a lot to compete against Handlez in this matchup. They're definitely a semi-pro team not to sleep on.
Absolutely. And I think it's pretty obvious from what I see that Handlez made a huge emphasis to just play their own pace. Like, they're not letting Wizards D.G speed them up. Not only shooters, really, he's being really tight with the ball. And they're really just setting up on their offense. They're not rushing it. They're not throwing the ball down the court. You saw Dayfry be able to speed Kelly up a little bit with all those steals he was getting. So hopefully, we can start bringing some of those steals to kind of get them off balance and off of their rhythm. But we've been down 1-0 many times before. It's a best of 7. There's a long way to go. So we would love to win game 1, but by no means are we out of it, or even, close to being out of it at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And it wasn't like they weren't making the most of their possessions. They had good looking shots. They were able to move the ball around. Turnovers, there weren't really that many. It was very limited by both teams. Definitely a change from what we saw from the Dukes gaming series, where it felt like Dukes in the last, once they hit that 12-point mark and Dayfry went like on super crazy defense mode. 5 steals against Killy was absolutely insane in game 2. And then he just kind of hit the gas and kept going with it. We didn't see too many turnovers here. We saw a couple opportunities for Wizards D.G to try to get back in late, but unfortunately just not enough to keep that one close. Is there anything that comes to your mind that Wizards D.G will need to change going into game 2 to try to even this series back up?
Yeah, again, like you mentioned, both teams played a pretty clean game. I think it just comes down to stopping the isolations. That's really what puts Handlez kind of, a little bit ahead of us in terms of, their point guard is a lot more comfortable in ISO situations, quick stopping left, quick stopping right. We have more of a methodical pace. We like to run, sets. We like to run motions and cuts and stuff like that. So, if we're able to limit the other team's threes, specifically the point guard's threes, and keep limiting his takeover and keeping that down, it puts us in a great spot. And I don't expect every game for us to only have, I believe we only forced 1 turnover, and that was near the end on that B-Rich interception. So I'm looking for us to cause at least 2 to 3 turnovers a game, if not more. And that'll lead out to some easy transition buckets, which makes our lives a lot easier. We don't have to work for every single bucket in the half-court set.
Absolutely. It looks like the stats are slowly loading up here on the 2K League site. Thank you to everyone in the 2K League for live time updating of these stats. According to them, it's still 19-15 in the game. So that's kind of cool. Nudini led the way for Wizards D.G with 8 points, shot 4 for 4 from the field. So again, Nudini really popping off there as well. Let's see here. Leading the way for Not Elite. He ends up hitting the 3-point shot for the win at the end. That gives him 15 points, 2 assists, a steal as well. Kaze, the lock, only had 3 points. Didn't really play too big of a role in the game, hitting only that 1 shot. But Miami, 4 points, 2 boards, 1 assist. Did quite well on the boards as well. We were out rebounded 2-1. It's not really that big of a deal when it's that close, at least in my opinion. Turnovers, it was 2-1. Wizards D.G committing the extra turnover as well. So like we were saying, a fairly clean game most of the time. These teams making the most of their possessions, hitting those shots. It was a fairly quick game number 1. And now we are just looks like a few moments away here from game number 2. Chat, I know everyone in the chat room on Twitch, give us your opinion as well. What do you want to see from Wizards D.G? What are you expecting there in game 2 also? Let's get your thoughts on chat, and we'll get it here on stream as well. We're going to toss it to a quick break as we wait for Game 2 to load up. So don't go anywhere. You're watching the official co-stream of the two-time NBA 2K League champions, Wizards District Gaming. We'll be right back with Game number 2. And we're back for game number 2. It's a 1-0 series lead for Handlez. After an impressive performance in game 1, a very solid performance really from both teams, limiting the turnovers and making the most of every possession. We'll have to see if Wizards D.G is able to respond here in game number 2, being down 1 game in the series. Now it's Dayfry on the baseline, kicks it back out. Nudini for 3, hits the shot, and the opening points go to Wizards D.G.
We love to see that after a weird start. We got an offensive 3 seconds, and then not only shooter missed a wide open 3 that he normally greens. So when Nudini's hitting top of the key 3s off of pops, I think that's when our offense is in the best rhythm. So hopefully that can sustain for the rest of this game right here.
An Elite coming off of a 15-point game 1 turns the ball over. Dayfry down low, and they extend the lead to 5. I don't know, whatever Coach Pat said during that break in between game 1 and game 2 seems to be working so far.
And that's exactly what I mentioned at the end of game 1. Like, if we can create those easy opportunities in transition where we don't have to work for it in the half court, it just sets up our defense in the full court press, allows Dayfry to put pressure on the guard and get plucks. It just makes our life a lot easier.
Elite called for the reach. Wizards D.G will get to reset. Dayfry back out to B-Rich. Guarded by Elite shooter. Now back to Dayfry, moving the ball around, has space. The off-balance 3 is good to go. And it's 8-2. Wiz jump out to a 6-point lead.
This just feels like our game. Dayfry hit a leaning 3 that was a white that went in. So that's definitely a good omen. Hopefully the 2K momentum can keep up for us and make this one easy. No pressure at the end of the game. Just a quick and easy 1-to-1.
Elite finds Miami down low. Great vision. Cuts the lead in half to 4.
And we got a 3. We gave up a 2 on defense. That's not bad at all. And then Dayfry hits another white 3. This has to be our game. I'm convinced.
Nudini called for the reach in. I mean, if Dayfry is not doing it on defense, he's doing it on offense. Back-to-back 3s. Wizards D.G looking great so far. 11-4 here in game 2 as Elite finds his way around Dayfry. Makes it 11.
But you see there, the corners are hugging, right? We don't want to give up a 3 after just getting 2. We'll give up 2s the rest of the game. As long as we can keep scoring, we'll be just fine.
Dayfry looking for space. Finds it, takes it himself. 13-6.
I'd like to see more of that Dayfry isoing. We don't see it a ton from Dayfry, but when he does, he scores a lot.
Miami with the rebound, kicks it back out. Kaze in the corner, out to not Elite shooter. Down low, Miami finds Kaze in the corner for 3. Can't get it to go. Rims out. Miami again with another offensive board. Now Miami, the big man for 3, rattles it home. 13-9.
That possession right there is something that we kind of saw against Duke's Gaming with Beezus. You know, we would get great stops after stops, but Beezus would keep getting the board, and eventually after the 3rd or 4th, shot, they'd be able to score.
Another big 3. This one's starting to get a little bit closer for Wizards D.G to even up that series. 16-9. Looking to keep the pressure on. Elite handling the ball for Handlez. Down low, Miami, the big man for another 3. Can't get it to go. Nudini with the board. Taking his time, finding B-Rich. Brings it up court, finds space, takes it himself to the basket. 18-9. A 3-point shot will do it for Wizards D.G.
And this is just an all-around, clean game for us. We're basically doing nothing wrong, giving up 2s on the defensive end, which is completely fine. And, we should be able to close this one out in the next, 2 or 3 possessions max.
B-Rich, who hit the game winner against Duke's Gaming, finds Dayfry. Back to B-Rich. Good ball movement from the defending 3v3 champs. B-Rich moving the ball around, looking for that corner. The off-balance 3. B-Rich can't get it to go. Nudini, second chance opportunity, takes the deflection off of Miami, goes out of bounds, and Wizards D.G will hold on to possession.
Yeah, I feel like 2K, if we shot another weight, I don't think they're going to give it to us after all the weights they gave us. But there's an easy 2 by B-Rich, so we'll take that.
Handlez down to what could be their final possession here in game 2. This one pretty much got out of hand pretty quick. Compliments of Dayfry's back-to-back 3-point shots. Elite in the corner, off balance, gets it to go, cuts the lead to 6. This possession could do it for Wizards D.G. Whether it's a 2-pointer or a 3-point shot, they can seal it. B-Rich finding Dayfry. Cross-court pass. Dayfry for space. Down low, Nudini being patient. Lost control. Dayfry for the win. 23-14, your final score here in game number 2. It's a 13-point performance from Dayfry. And they'll be nice enough to pause it on the stat screen. 2K League, you have heard our prayers, and we appreciate that. Outstanding. 13 points, 2 assists for Dayfry. B-Rich, 7 points, 1 assist, and a steal. And Nudini, I know, Chris, you mentioned he doesn't have that rebounding stat in his archetype here, but Nudini, 4 clutch rebounds, helping to seal the win for Wizards D.G.
Yeah, and those rebounds are huge offensively and defensively. I think his 3 at the beginning of the game at the top of the key really opened up the offense for them. They were able to get out in transition. There was only 1 turnover apiece, so the game really just came down to 3-point shots made. The attempts were close at 6 and 7, respectively. But we were able to knock down 5 to their 2. In a 3v3 game up to 21, that's going to be the difference every single time. So, huge game from Dayfry, 3 for 3. Like I said, Nudini at the beginning, kind of opening it up, and B-Rich was aggressive, and all of his misses were good shots as well. So, all in all, a great game by all 3 of our players, and something that we can build on going into game 3.
Absolutely. And let's take a look at defense. Wizards D.G. have obviously made a name for themselves in the league for their defensive play. Not elite. Game 1, 15 points, really led the way for Handlez, really set the pace and that tempo. Game 2 held to 5 points. In fact, the leading scorer was actually Miami with 9. And Miami, believe, let's see here, just double checking here, 2 boards, 4 for 5 from the field, 1 for 2 behind the arc as well. So a decent performance there, but not elite. Pretty much, I'm not going to say it was a complete shutout. Obviously, he still got 5 points, but 10 points less than what he was able to find there in game 1. That's a pretty good reply to a 15-point performance.
Yeah, we held him to 3 shot attempts total, which is, if this center is getting more shot attempts than the point guard, that's a really good statistic to look at in terms of a defense playing well in 3v3. He only had 5 points on 3 shot attempts, which is fine. He had 4 assists, but we're going to live with that. As long as we're scoring, if we're knocking down our 3s, we're able to kind of play no 3 defense ourselves and just let not elite shooter get assists because they're only 2s. If we're getting 3s, they're getting 2s. The math will add up every single time. I'm no mathematician, but I'm pretty sure 3s are always better than 2s. So like I said, if we can continue that on for the rest of the series, we'll be great.
That's definitely one thing you and I both have in common. Math, not our strong suit, but yes, 3 is greater than 2. My math teacher, Miss Smith, would be super happy with me for remembering that. So all I know also math-wise, Handlez has a game, Wizards D.G. has a game. We're all tied up at 1 game apiece in this best of 7. That's right. It's not a best of 5. It's a best of 7 here tonight. So game 3 coming up here. So our theory as to why there's so much time in between games is because the Celtics and I believe it's Celtics and Nets are going right now as well. And if I'm looking at here, that one's also a tied series. So they're going into game 6, pardon me, right now. So it looks like they're bouncing between both games. So it is a little bit of an extended break. It's not that quick turnaround. So we're going to throw it back to the Be Right Back screen here as we wait for game number 3 coming up. Hopefully once the Nets and Celtics series wraps up, we'll get a little more constant pace that we're used to seeing here on the 3v3 side of things. So don't go anywhere. We're all tied up at 1 game apiece. You're watching the official co-stream of the 2-time back-to-back NBA 2K League champions, Wizards District Gaming. We'll be right back.
Let me show y'all how it is.
And we are back for game number 3 of this best of 7 series. Wizards D.G and Handlez all tied up at 1 game apiece. Handlez taking game 1, 22-17. Wizards D.G returning the favor with a strong 23-14 victory in game 2 to even this one up. It's going to be Handlez starting with the ball first. Not elite shooter who dropped 15 in game 1, held to 5 in game 2. Handling the ball, finding Miami down low, trying to be patient off the glass and in. First points goes to Handlez.
And Handlez might try to go back to their game plan of game 1, just getting some easy twos to start the game, letting their defense maybe get a stop or two, and getting out and trying to get this play with the lead.
It's a bad turnover for Wizards D.G. Handlez has the chance to double their lead, and they will 4-0 now for Handlez. Again, these two teams met back in the Slam Open, the last 3v3 tournament. In round 1, it was a best of 5, went the distance 3-2 in favor of Wizards D.G. So these two teams know each other quite well. And so far, we've seen a lot of the same here in this matchup for this best of 7. A lot of close games, a lot of back and forth moments as Dayfry kicks the ball back out to B-Rich, looking for space, has it, takes the 3 and drills it. First points on the board for Wizards D.G go to B-Rich.
That's a kill move by B-Rich right there, and I think B-Rich needs to be more of a factor with the ball in his hands this series, because he's matched up on not a lead shooter who's the point guard, so he has the least amount of defense out of anyone on the floor, and B-Rich has the skill to kill his matchup just like that, whether it's a 3-hunt or a drive to the rim, so look for B-Rich to be a little bit more aggressive playmaking with the ball in his hands.
Not elite finds a way around Nudini. Doubles the lead, 6-3 for Handlez. It's B-Rich, sick move to get around Not Elite into the corner, finds Nudini down low. Being patient, the reversal off the glass, it's good. Cuts the lead to 1.
I think B-Rich is going to force Handlez to kind of switch their defensive mindset. I think Kaze the lock, is going to start following whoever brings it up. Right now, he's kind of glued to Dayfry, but if B-Rich keeps killing like this, they're going to have to make an adjustment.
An Elite pops a 3, greens at home. It's 9-5 for Handlez.
Yeah, that was definitely miscommunication on our part there. He got wide open way too early in the shot clock.
B-Rich in the corner finds Nudini down low for the slam. 2-point game.
Fast pace back and forth. I feel like a lot of our games are very fast paced. Kind of the opposite what we see in 5v5, where we kind of play it, slow it down, and play our pace. But these 3v3 games go by super fast.
Almost feels like the 2K League breaks are 5 times the length of the actual play time.
Yep.
Hopefully with the end of the Celtics and Nets series, we can speed this one up just a little bit more. Speaking of which, I don't know if anyone else was watching on that side stream as B-Rich turns the ball over for Handlez, looking to go the other way now. Elite on the baseline. It's a good block for Nudini. Ball goes out of bounds to hold on to possession, though. But Colt, during that celebration, falls to the floor. Too much energy from a man. Colt falls down and picks himself right back up, celebrating that big win against the Nets in 6 games. As Wizards D.G splashes home the 3, takes the 1-point lead.
It's a huge turn right there. The game could have got a little bit out of hand, and we were able to slow it down and force that turnover. Another strip coming in, so the tides might be turning. We might be getting the momentum back on our side.
More back and forth, more of the same that we've seen here in this entire series. B-Rich now for Wizards D.G finds Dayfry, looking for the open space down in the corner, kicks it back out. B-Rich thought about the mid-range, but pulls it back, finding Dayfry in the corner. Will bring it all the way back to the top. Now B-Rich. The off-balance 3 hits the shot as the shot clock was starting to expire. 2-point lead for Wizards D.G.
We're starting to see B-Rich's usage rate go through the roof right now. Like they made a clear, concerted effort to get him the ball, and it's paying dividends. He did have that 1 turnover, but so far so good from B-Rich.
Not Elite greens another 3.
And that has to be something Coach Pat mentions after this game in the huddle. Like, Not Elite shooter loves leaning to that corner, that exact left corner 3. So Dini has to play high right there and just give up the slip. He makes up for it with a great block on the other end.
Dayfry called for the foul, stops the fast break. Restart now. It's Elite. Looking for space, kicks it back out. Miami, the big man, greens the 3 as well.
Miami got off to a little slow of a start, but like I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, he's one of the best shooters in 2K League history in terms of just pure percentage, so we don't want to get him going.
Nudini back out to B-Rich, looking for space, finds Dayfry, pulls the trigger on the 3, it rims out. Nudini's there to clean it up. Dayfry, attempt number 2, hits the shot. 1-point game.
And yeah, again, Dini's doing this against a center or a power forward build with all glass cleaning, with all rebounding in his build. So just great positioning and box out IQ by Dini right there.
B-Rich called for the reach, and Wiz D.G trying to be a little bit more aggressive on the front court. Back court, front court. Elite shooter for a 3. Can't get it to go. Miami with the rebound. The pass takes a deflection. It'll be Handlez ball as it goes off a Wiz D.G player. 11 seconds on the shot clock. Miami to Elite. Down to 3 seconds. Forces the shot and greens another one. Hand in his face and all. And Handlez is on game point.
Now, if that was Dayfry or B-Rich, I don't think he greens that. It's only because he has a mismatch expert, which allows him to green over taller players, that the game probably let him green that.
The ball goes out of bounds as B-Rich collects a long rebound, foot on the line, and Handlez has a chance to close it out here.
It's going to be tough. We need one of our signature Wiz D.G turnovers right here, because it's going to be tough to play the 3 and play the 2. We can't give up any points.
And Elite doing everything he can to stay away from Dayfry, as Dayfry's called for the reach. Elite down low, finding Miami. Nudini jumps off the glass, and it's good as Miami hits the game-winning shot, 22-16. And Handlez takes the 2-1 series lead. And they are not nice enough to pause it on the score here for us, which is completely cool as we throw it back to the caster cam here. So again, back and forth. It's a tale of essentially who's going to take the final win. And if we keep this pace up, looks like we might be going the distance here a little bit, or at least to a game 6. And Wiz D.G have to find a way to really cut back on those threes. And you mentioned it. Communication breakdowns leading to wide open threes that, not Elite and Miami are going to green. They're going to take those shots. They're very skilled on the sticks, and you give them any chance, they're going to hit it. And that's what we saw here. I believe it was 3 or 4 greened 3-point shots, and that's really what killed Wiz D.G.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm being redundant, but you listen to any player interview, any coach interview in 3v3, their number one takeaway on the defensive end is always limit threes. It doesn't matter who you're playing, what team you're playing against. Limiting threes will always be the most important factor, just because threes will get you closer to 21 faster than 2s. And 3s are also a huge momentum shifts in terms of just the way the game works. So like you said, there's breakdown in communication right there. The one 3 that not Elite shooter hit where he was leaning against, I think it was Nudini, there's just really nothing you can do. That's great defense. But the ones, where he's leaning to the corner and Dini doesn't step high enough, or the ones on the wing where there's just miscommunication and both the pick and roll defenders follow the center and just leave the guard wide open, those ones are inexcusable. And those are the ones that are going to be the ones that tilt the game in favor of Handlez. So we just have to clean that up a little bit. Our offense, honestly, is clicking pretty well. There's a few times where we get stifled, but I like the addition of letting B-Rich handle the ball more. It's creating a lot of good opportunities against a non-lock. So I think we stick with that heading into game 4 and just play a little bit better defense. I think we'll have a great shot of evening this up at 2-2.
Absolutely. Game 4 just moments away here. Hopefully it's going to be a little bit of a shorter break in between games now that this is the only series still being played here tonight. We were talking about it a little bit as we were waiting for game 3 to start up. The league is running almost a full hour behind schedule. And I know Pot of Luck was making a joke about it to me here as well, saying this might go to midnight. And unfortunately, there is a chance of that actually happening. You got to love late tip-offs for East Coast teams. We appreciate it, 2K League. We love you guys, too. So we're going to throw it to a quick break. On the other side, it will be game 4 of this best of 7 series. Handlez leading it 2-1 after the Game 3 win, 22-16. We'll be right back. You're watching the official co-stream of the 2-time NBA 2K League champions, Wizards District Gaming. All right, so just as predicted, things are speeding up a little bit more, and it's a speedy start for Wizards D.G. Jumping out to the early 2-0 lead on their first possession. We'll see how they respond here after a tough loss in Game 3 as B-Rich called for the reach-in.
Something I don't think we've ever touched on before is the who gets ball first alternate each game in the series. So that's a huge factor. I mean, obviously, who gets ball first determines who can potentially take the early 2-0 lead in a game where it's a first to 21. That's super important. So we get ball first this game. I think that could definitely lead in our favor.
Miami down low, bring the ball out into the corner, puts up the three, can't get it to go. Kaze with the rebound, finding Elite, looking back in the quarter, guarded by Nudini, putting the pressure on, finds space. Off balance three, side rim and out. Nudini collects it up, finding Dayfry, looking to go the other way. All by himself, 4-0 Wizards D.G.
And this is the complete opposite start of Game 3 where we got down 4-0. So it's good to be in the lead this time.
Elite looking to take the ball down towards the baseline, finds Miami, will take it himself. No style points for that one.
Yeah, that's fine though. It's no three. The point guard's not getting takeover. So those are ones that we can live with.
B-Rich looking for space down low. Nudini, dangerous pass. It's a turnover. Elite going the other way for Handlez, looking for space now. B-Rich looking to try to steal the ball. Instead gives up a wide open three. That one hurts. Gives Handlez their first lead here in Game 4.
And that's a dangerous game you play in 3v3. When you have no help on that corner and you go for a reach, if you don't get it, it's going to give up a wide open three, and it's going to be green almost every time. So, I like the aggressiveness from B-Rich right there, but it just didn't work out in his favor and caused the wide open three.
Dayfry on the restart, finding B-Rich. Back to Dayfry. Now B-Rich in the lane, up and in. Another back and forth game, 1-point lead for Wizards D.G. It's Elite for Handlez, cross half court, guarded by Nudini. And Green's another three.
And again, that is not the switch that we want. Dini on not elite shooter is going to be so impossible for him to guard in ISO situations, and he gets mismatch expert to shoot over top of him.
Dayfry looking to respond, misses it down low, back to Nudini. Good ball movement, creating the opportunity there, all tied up at 8 now. Elite looking for space. Down low, Miami, the one-handed jam, 2-point lead for Handlez.
And that's the thing with Miami too. He's on the pure glass cleaning build, which means, his brick wall, his screens are going to hit harder than any other build. So it's forcing a lot of switches. B-Rich, I think that B-Rich is a huge three right there. Yep.
B-Rich draining the three. Again, it's continuing to go back and forth. Lead change almost every possession now. Elite guarded close, hands it off to Miami. Loose ball, but it's going to be called for a reach-in on Nudini. 7 points for B-Rich so far for Wizards D.G. On the restart, Miami bringing the ball off to the corner. Wide open. Green's the three.
Not a lot of centers have the confidence to do what he just did. That's a pretty skilled move by him.
And Kaze called for the reach as Dayfry looking to possibly drive in towards the hoop. We'll get the restart here. B-Rich into Dayfry. On the baseline, being patient, kicks it back out, finds B-Rich. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Dayfry looking for space. B-Rich in the corner, being patient, has to force the shot. Gets the 3 to go. Another big 3 for B-Rich. Makes it 14-13 for Wiz D.G.
B-Rich just finds ways. He might be one of the best players in the league at just finding a little bit of space at the end of shot clocks in order to get shots up. I mean, that's just a huge. If we don't score there, that could be the game. So great shot by B-Rich.
Elite Dayfry looking for that steal. Will back off. Now it's Nudini on no Elite. Down low, Miami, the one-handed jam. Again, it's a lead change, 15-14 in favor of Handlez. Dini down low, 16-15. Now for Wiz D.G.
Feels like whoever gets a stop first might end up taking it because they're going to get the extra possession.
Every possession critical this late in the game when it's first to 21 by 2. Not Elite. Guarded by Nudini, looking for space, and Green's another 3. It's a 2-point lead.
And again, the switch with Nudini, they're just going to it time after time after time, and now Elite Shooter has his badge, which is going to make it even tougher on us defensively.
Not Elite, almost forcing the turnover. Ball will go out of bounds. Wiz D.G. will hold on to it. Down low, B-Rich kicks it back out. Dayfry being patient, guarded by Kaze. Back over to B-Rich. It's not Elite Shooter called for the reach-in. 14 seconds on the shot clock for Wiz D.G. on this possession.
And we don't need a 3 here. We could easily take a 2, and then we can get a stop, and we could definitely score a 3 in transition to win the game. So the 3 by no means is necessary. Either way, we have to get a stop. So it's just important for us to score it here. So we have the possibility of winning next possession.
Dayfry looking for space, back out to B-Rich. Nudini with the jam, ties it up at 18. Again, this can be dangerous with not Elite with his badge activated. Need to guard him close. Dayfry staying close. Now it's Nudini on him. Not Elite looking for space. Kicks it back over. Miami for 3 and the game. Creating space. 21-18 the final score here in game 4 in favor of Handlez. And they go up 3-1 in the series against Wiz D.G.
Man, that's tough. I mean, that game was all about the switches, honestly. That's what led to not Elite Shooter getting a sharpshooter badge. He kept getting the switch isolation on Nudini. And again, for those of you guys who aren't aware, there's a badge in 2K called Mismatch Expert. So when there's a taller player, a significantly taller player on a shorter guard, it basically allows the guard to just shoot over the big man like he's not even there, as long as the big man doesn't jump. If he's just playing hands-up defense, it's almost like he's not there. The shot is still incredibly greenable. So getting that switch, not only is Nudini slow because his lateral quickness and perimeter defense is extremely low, so it's hard to keep up side to side. And then even if he does, you're not going to be able to get a good contest on a guard. So it's tough because, you can't really go under screens because the guard can shoot. So it's just going to come down to more communication from the Wiz. Maybe they'll try to switch something up and, put B-Rich in the pick and roll sometimes and try to swing Nudini out of the corner. But that's something that they're going to have to correct because if they don't, Handlez is going to keep going back to that, and it's going to be almost impossible for us to guard it.
Absolutely. So the stat line here for Wiz D.G. there in game 4. B-Rich led the way, 10 points, 3 assists, shooting a perfect 4 for 4 from the field and 2 for 2 behind the arc. Dayfry, 2 points, 4 assists. Nudini, 6 points, 2 boards, and an assist to his name as well. And that 18-point effort on the side of Handlez. Not Elite had 9 points and 4 assists, but the big man of the day is Miami, 12 points, including that game-winning shot. 5 for 6 from the field, 2 for 3 behind the arc, including the game winner. That one's just tough. Those green shots, before the ball's even going in, as soon as you see that green splash pop up, it's painful for that last half second before the ball goes into the basket. And here we are, series 3-1 in favor of Handlez, back against the wall for Wiz D.G. It's a must-win situation now. to continue their title defense. And if the back and forth starting of the ball indicates anything, I believe next game it should be Handlez starting with the ball first. So that is you're already starting from behind theoretically with how quick that first possession generally almost always scores. So big defense is going to be needed here. Wizards D.G need to get back to their defensive skill set, defensive mindset a little bit. Dayfry needs to find that form he had against Duke's Gaming. That one where he forced 5 turnovers against Killy. I want that kind of Dayfry back because that's what we're going to need here to stop this team, especially when No Elite and Miami are just popping off behind the arc.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, shout out to No Lead Shooter. I mean, he's playing a heck of a series, not only just, scoring and making assists, but also getting the ball up the floor. It's so underrated because, as you mentioned, in the Duke series, Killy was having so much trouble just getting the ball past half court. Dayfire was getting steals, or he was just forcing Killy to pick up his dribble and him having to basically reset with Beezus in the half court. So, if Dayfire is able to find some magic here and start creating havoc in the backcourt off of inbound passes, I think we're going to be in good shape. But otherwise, in our half court defense, like I said, we just have to communicate better. I think our offense all series has been pretty solid. I can't really pick too many things wrong with our offense. Bierich is getting it done. Dayfry is assisting, and Adini's knocking down his open shots. We're just going to come down to the defensive end. And once again, like I said, limiting threes in every 3v3 game, regardless of who it is, limiting threes is going to be the number one deciding factor. So hopefully we can get that down and create some turnovers to go the other way.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like the players are back on stage and they are creating that lobby as we are taking a look here at the feed, and they are jumping back in. We are getting our wish, these quick in between series here. Super nice. Definitely appreciate that. Obviously, now that we're the only series being played, we'll kick it back over in game for those player introductions, which, fun fact, I mentioned it at the watch party last week. B-Rich informed me there's no way to skip that in the 2K League. But B-Rich, speaking of which, forces the turnover on the opening possession, and now maybe the tables have turned a little bit until he gives it right away. It's the caster curse coming out. Spoke way too soon, and Handlez now has a chance to kind of get that first shot off.
And it looks like Dini possibly changed his archetype. There's no way of knowing if they don't hit the pause menu here, but he looks a little bit smaller on my screen, so I'd be interested to see if he actually did go ahead and change his archetype.
Miami down low opens up the scoring here in game 5. Series is 3-1 in favor of Handlez. B-Rich in the corner, received from Dayfry. Back out to Dayfry towards the top, looking for space. Takes a 3-point shot, gets it to go. And Wizards D.G on the board.
That's a huge shot. If Dayfry heats up offensively, like he did at the beginning of the series, coming in with like 10 points, 5 for 5 shooting. He doesn't have to be perfect, but he just needs to get the ball in the hoop a little bit more to make it easier on B-Rich and Dini.
B-Rich finding Dayfry, kicks it back over. B-Rich has been more of a focal point in this series as Dayfry another 3 makes it 6-4.
And this is a closeout game, right? So I think Dayfry is going to play his best right here. He knows it's a winner go home mentality, and your best players tend to shine in those moments. So look for Dayfry to have a huge game right here.
Kaze with the response, 3 in the corner. Handlez back up by 1. That's B-Rich through half court. Dayfry looking to set the pick. Decides to move. Dayfry with the ball now. Just looking for space. Looking for the 3. Will take it. Can't get the back-to-back 3-point shot. Front rim and out. Looking for a stop here. Miami left wide open. Doesn't green it. Maybe had too much space.
We got really fortunate right there.
And Dini blocked from behind. Picks up the rebound, though. Now Dayfry. 8 on the shot clock. Nudini will try again without Miami sneaking up behind him. Makes it 8-7.
Handlez is playing front-running defense right now. They're basically just flying at shooters, letting the roll happen. Because I feel like they think that they can get threes almost any possession that they want. So they're just really forcing our hand to just hit that slip. I know Dayfry and B-Rich probably don't want to hit this slip because they want threes, but they might just have to and get a stop here and there in order to just grind this one out.
Quick pass down low makes it 9-8 as Miami converts. Now B-Rich brings the ball up court, passes it off to Dayfry. Nudini. Ball goes out of bounds. This lands awkwardly, goes across the line, and Handlez. It's an unforced turnover.
That's something you don't normally see. That's a very odd turnover.
Now Elite back over to Miami. Down low on the baseline, the two-handed jam makes it 11-8.
And again, they score off the switch. Dini was on not a lead, and there's a guard on the center. So those switches are really hurting us.
And Nudini responds, makes it a 1-point game. It's a must-win for Wizards D.G. As Not Elite puts the three-point up. Doesn't green it either, but it's a big rebound by Kaze. Back out to Not Elite to Miami. And it's not a green either. I don't know what happened. Maybe their controllers are broken, but they're not hitting those shots anymore.
That was a crazy sequence of events. Wow.
And Wizards D.G. turned the ball over. Not Elite down low. It's a loose ball, but no. Dayfry called for the reach.
They missed 2 wide open threes, and they got a rebound over 2 of our players. That's very, very fortunate for that they didn't score right there. Very fortunate.
Now Not Elite kicks it back out. Miami wide open. Not a green, but will still hit it. 14-10. Now B-Rich double teamed, finds Nudini down low. The one-handed jam cuts the lead to 2.
And again, they're perfectly content giving up that slip right now. We have to find a way to get a stop. I mean, it's the pop was open right there, but I feel like, we can probably play defense without switching a little bit more. It just has to come down to individual, communication between players.
Elite on the baseline, takes it himself, 16-12. 2-possession game now for Wizards D.G. to try to get back into this one. B-Rich will take it to the hoop, makes it a 2-point lead now for Handlez. It's game 5, 3-1 lead for Handlez in the series. Wizards D.G. facing elimination. See how they step up to the pressure. Miami down low converts. Now they're 1 possession away from possibly dethroning the 3v3 champs.
We're having a tough time on defense. It almost feels like we have to get a 3 either this possession or next, just because we need to make up this ground quick.
That's a bad turnover. Not Elite has a chance to seal the deal here in the corner for 3. Can't get it to go. Dayfry with the big rebound. B-Rich wide open for 3. Can't get it to go. Both teams struggling a little bit behind the arc today here in game 5. Miami finding Not Elite. Thought about taking the 3, but B-Rich was there. Down lows, Miami kicks it back out. Kaze hits it for the win, 21-14 here in game 5. And the defending 3v3 champions have been knocked out of the tournament here today in the Coinbase Blacktop Series, the Switch Open. That was definitely not expected. I think a lot of us came into this one not necessarily writing off Handlez. Again, a very skilled and talented team. I know Chris, you talked a little bit about how Miami statistically is one of the best, if not the best shooter pretty much right now in the scene. That's just a very, very tough result. Taking a look at the other stream, they're obviously excited. It's not every day you get to go up against the defending 3v3 champs, let alone the two-time back-to-back NBA 2K League champions as well. Handlez has to feel pretty good, but overall it was a fairly disappointing performance there from Wizards D.G. Not really playing up to the level that we know they're able to. And a lot of it just came down to turnovers and just not making the most of those possessions late in the game.
For sure. And I think Handlez really did the best job exploiting the lineup that we like to run. So, you see most teams in this tournament now, they run the point guard, the lock, and the center who has defense and rebounding in their build. We like to go for the pure offensive minded build with the 3 sharp primary builds. And they really were able to take advantage of that. They were able to ISO our guards. They were able to run pick and roll effectively and get switches onto our bigs, and basically just make it really, really difficult for us to get stops without turning them over. And ultimately, it just led them to getting easy threes. But it is what it is. I mean, I think that, we ride or die with our lineup, and, it got us to a first 3v3 victory in the first tournament. It got us here to the Elite Eight. So, shout out to Wizards D.G. They played really hard, and they'll definitely be back. I mean, 5v5, I'm sure they're itching to play after this, and, we'll definitely see them again.
Yeah, absolutely. Handles moving on. They'll be taking on Pistons GT tomorrow for Wiz DG. Unfortunately, that does end their run here in the Switch Open for the Coinbase NBA 2K League Switch Open 3v3 tournament. That one's tough. There will be a new 3v3 champion after this weekend. But that one is tough. Coming up next for Wiz DG, if the website actually has a schedule, and it does not, so I really can't tell you what's coming up next. But I believe we go back to 5v5 play after this. So that'll be nice to see Wiz DG back in their element. It'll be nice to see all 5 players on that virtual court for Wiz DG, looking to continue to defend their back-to-back championship run. Again, coming off of those impressive last 2 seasons, they're looking to do it again here in the 5v5. Chris, I don't know if you have any final thoughts here. It's definitely not the way we wanted it to go. It was definitely Handles exploiting those weaknesses and kind of like that play style also. But you have anything else before we wrap up here?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think a lot of people even expected us to perform even remotely well in 3v3 this year at all. Then we come out in the first tournament and win and blow everybody's minds. And you see, even in this tournament, a lot of the top teams in 5v5, such as the Jazz, the Warriors, the Sixers, they're getting 3-0'd or they're getting knocked out early in tournaments, or maybe not even making in-person play in Indianapolis. So for us to get as far as we did after winning the first tournament, it's definitely not the result that we wanted, but it's definitely not something that we should also hang our heads about. There's some amazing amateur teams, obviously we see with Handles and others. And then there's some great 3v3 point guards on these other teams who are in the Final Four. So, it was a great tournament run. I'm excited to see the finals of this one play out. And then I think all of us are looking forward to getting back to 5v5. And like you said, back in our element, going for the three-peat. I think that's where our focus will lie from here on out. And I'm super pumped for the next 5v5 event and can't wait for it to start.
Absolutely. So just to take a quick look here at the rest of the weekend. It's going to be Handles against Pistons GT. On the other side, it's going to be the Celtics going up against the Pacers. That will be, I believe it's tomorrow. Check out the NBA 2K League website if you are interested in tuning in for that. But for us here on the official co-stream of Wizards District Gaming, that is going to do it for us here for the Coinbase 3v3 Blacktop series for this go around. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in to watch with us. Unfortunately, Wiz DG falling 4-1 to Handles, knocking them out of the tournament. Appreciate everyone coming in, supporting the team. If you're not doing so already, make sure you give a follow to the Twitch page. If you have an Amazon Prime sub or another sub you want to throw on there, make sure you sub for all the amazing content. You'll see Chris stream on there as well. Head coach Pat Crossan comes on and does his great breakdowns as well and plays some 2K on there also. So definitely check out the WizDG Twitch page and social media pages as well. Give them a follow. But until next time, on behalf of Chris, my name is John. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, we'll see you then.